morning and happy Tuesday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned on this second anniversary of the October 7th attacks on Israel. I am quite certain that Chewbacca is going to be very active today, you know, with everything. All the people, October 7th was an inside job. Okay, we'll get him off the sidelines early. Jewy, there he is. Chewbacca, it's the Jews. These people are going to be all over the place today, so just have your shields up is all I'm going to say on that. The J. Jones scandal has gotten worse, much worse. The J. Jones scandal. You see the threatening texts that came out, or not threatening. Was it threatening? I don't think he was actually threatening to kill them. I think he was wishing that they got killed. Quite a weird situation. So there was that. I don't know. I would say, there were a couple of things that came through recently on that. The comments regarding his political opponents in Virginia. But now comments surfacing from 2020 about police. And that is not good. Apparently saying that he thought that that cops needed to die. Did you see any of this? So this J. Jones scandal has gotten much worse. And remember, he's running for Attorney General. He is running to be the top law enforcement official in Virginia. And he is alluding to this idea that police officers should die. Okay? Back, by the way, in 2020 when that was the thing to say. We will get to it. We will get to that. We've got that. I've got a bunch of clips. By the way, they were doing it again yesterday. Who was doing what again? In Portland. There are a bunch of old, white Democrats standing on the sidewalk, singing. So we will get to that again. Oh. We will take a trip. And I have an idea, by the way. End of the year, at the end of the year, we're going to do an award show. Oh. We're gonna nominate one of these singing Democrat groups for a Grammy.
Oh, this is fun.
Like our version of the Grammys.
Okay.
So I mean, it's clear to me that Awooya is definitely the front runner. Awoo! They were singing. Just so you know, Awooya. Remember
everybody,
this?
Awooya.
Oh, okay. We'll take a trip down memory lane with the singing Democrats, and I'll give you the new version, the new song of the singing Democrats. Jason Miyares, who's also running for Attorney General in the state of Virginia, the Republican nominee, he released a new ad attacking J. Jones because it should be attacked. Remember, the left had a bigger deal with Donald Trump saying bloodbath. The left had a bigger deal with Tony Hinchcliffe. Remember Tony Hinchcliffe, the joke, Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage. You were like, the outrage. This guy, J. Jones is like, yeah, I just want to, I would shoot my political opponents in the head and kill their children if I could and leave Hitler and Pol Pot to survive. They were like, let's move on. What? Move on. You know what? I don't like to use the word hate because it's not a nice word. The Democrats are such irritating people because they have no standards. And there's like a shred of me that believes that maybe somebody somewhere has some standards. Actually, we'll get to it because ironically, those standards, or at least a semblance of those standards, came from Morning Joe on MSNBC. But man, these are the people. These are such entitled. They think they can say whatever they want. No, it's the free speech. It's free speech. No, sorry, you can't call for your political opponents to be shot. Sorry, can't do that. And even if you want to say that speech shouldn't be criminalized, that's fine. Your speech has consequences, okay? We got an update on Jack Smith. Jack Smith apparently was spying on GOP senators. We were told, no, this is up and up. It's fine. There's no weaponization of government going on. It's a lie. We've got a story out of Chicago. Ice-free zones. You know about them. Brandon Johnson. It kind of sounds like they're talking about secession. But then they say the right wants a civil war. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. There was apparently a North Carolina congressional staffer who said he wanted to kick the sugar honey iced tea out of Stephen Miller, according to Matt Brown. I didn't see that. I did not see that. Bondi getting grilled at oversight committee meeting. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you one thing we're not going to watch today because I don't want to make everybody upset over. I have zero faith in Pam Bondi. None. And I haven't since really the binders, but I gave her a little grace and gave her a little time. July 6th, when that Epstein memo came out, I said, she's not right for the job. And I'm telling you right now, I am right about that. And a lot of people who are saying that are right about that. This woman is one of the weakest. I think the problem I have with Pam Bondi, look, she is a paper tiger. And any adversity is like, all right, that's it. Pam Bondi's breaking. And it's just, this is Pam Bondi in a nutshell, okay? This is her. It's like, we are going to prosecute and hold people accountable. And those words, they're like this, okay? You just shred them up and you could just stick them in the garbage because none of it is actually going to be anything that happens with this woman. I have zero faith in her.
Glam
None.
Blondie.
Yeah, she's
I think that's fun.
Scam Bondi is what I like to call her because everything we've been told about her is a scam, including from, I love the president, right? She's not doing a great job, so enough of that crap, okay? It's October 7th. Wouldn't you know it, Hamas is delaying the peace agreement. It's almost like I said that was going to happen last week.
I'm
Oh, my gosh, imagine my shock.
Really?
Imagine my shock. Because you can't negotiate with terrorists.
No.
Folks, I don't care who this upsets. I don't care who's watching. If you're new to the show and you think I'm one of those types, Candace Owens, I want every single I want every single member of Hamas dead. That's it. You know, I haven't changed my position in 2 years on the October 7th. It's the two-year anniversary of October 7th. October 7th, 2023, I said every member of Hamas should die. October 7th, 2025, every member of Hamas should die. Sean, that sounds like a genocide. No, it sounds like a war that Hamas started on October 7th, 2023. I'm not saying every Palestinian should die. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Every member of Hamas should die. Stop negotiating with these people. Holy crap, man. Just get it done. Because I'll tell you what. And this is part of the reason why Israel's losing support. They're taking too long. Just get the job done. It's gone on for 2 years. This should have been very simple. Hamas attacked Israel. Hamas is gone. But Sean, they're hiding in hospitals. Okay. I'm not saying to bomb the hospitals. But Israel obviously has the capability to go deep into enemy countries like Iran and carry out unbelievable levels of assassination. Why are they not doing this with Hamas? I know, hostages. I get it. You want to bring them home. And I respect that, and that's admirable. But my goodness, folks. Now we hear from Marco Rubio, it's going to take months to implement. No, it can't take months. We were told it was a 72-hour window to release the hostages. Now Hamas wants to accept part of the plan and not part of the plan, and Netanyahu wants to accept part of the plan and not. Is there a plan or not? If there's no plan, go in there and kill every Hamas. Anybody who's wearing a green headband, you're out. That's it. I am so I'm getting tired of the Israel-Gaza conflict. And I stand with Israel, and I support Israel, and I want them to just wipe Hamas off the face of the earth. I want it. Now more than ever. And I don't care what has to happen. I'm just so tired of hearing about it. It's like Ukraine. I'm so tired of it. It's been going on for 2 years. It should have been easy. But we keep hearing, oh, they've agreed to this. They don't ever honor their word. Enough with the agreements. Kill them. That's what has to happen. That's what has to happen. And if you think I'm wrong and that Hamas deserves a second chance, okay, you standing around in a bar, you're getting drinks, someone comes up and sucker punches you. What are you going to do? Blow him a kiss? You going to thank him? Please, sir, don't do that again. Or you're going to knock his lights out. Remember, you got a couple drinks in you. You're probably going to knock his lights out. Self-defense is okay, and Israel needs to destroy Hamas. I'm done with the negotiations. I'm tired of hearing about it. Because, by the way, it's making Trump look bad. He's done this 3 times. Final warning, final warning, final warning. We have a deal, we have a deal. There's no deal. They're never going to agree to a deal. Hamas is never going to agree to a deal. Now, if they agree to this, I'd love to be wrong on this. But we're already starting to see this, the seeds of doubt sprouting up, right, with regards to this deal. This can't keep going on. This is final warning number 5. Final means last one, not last one plus a few more last ones. Wipe them out. I don't care what it takes. Oh, Israel agreed not to annex Gaza. Well, Hamas agreed to release the hostages 6 months ago. They haven't. So Israel should annex Gaza. Done. I mean, what are we waiting for here? Gosh, Netanyahu loves to go to war with everybody except Gaza. What are we doing? I don't know. Maybe this is why I'm not an elected official. Jana Hunter 406. It's a slap on the wrist. A bad boy. Bad boy. They killed 1,500 of your people in one day. They slaughtered people at a music festival. We're still doing this? I can tell you what would happen if this happened to America. There would be no, whatever terrorist group it was that carried out would be gone in 24 hours. I don't know why it's taking so long. I know the rest of the world is like, oh, Israel, behave yourself. Shut up. Give me a break. You know what? And you're going to be dealing with it too, because you're letting all the Muslims into your country in Europe and all these other places. You're going to be dealing with it too. They already are dealing with it. Stabbings and vehicle homicides and just 2-year anniversary of October 7th. And are we any closer to seeing the end of Hamas in the region? Okay, their leadership has been killed in Qatar. Great. Are we any closer to seeing Hamas eradicated from Gaza? 2 years. It's been 2 years. 730 days. What are we doing? We're negotiating with these people? Since when do they get the privilege of negotiations? Unreal. All right. We'll get to some of that stuff. We have a bunch to get to. I want to get to the Jay Jones story as well. And look, again, I don't like talking about death and killing people, but this is war, number one. Israel's war, not the United States war. And I just don't understand what's going on. Why we continue to negotiate with a bunch of terrorists that obviously can't be trusted. Obviously can't be trusted. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, OFP Farms. Excuse me. Holy cow. Whoa. We've got tea, we got coffee, we got allergies coursing through.
Like crazy.
OFP Farms, they're our good friends. We love OFP Farms. OFPfarms.com. Use the promo code Sean, SHAW1 at OFP, Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com. Explore the wonderful quality of Faith Farm and Freedom products with a special limited time 15% discount on your entire purchase. Take a peek at the lineup from OFP Farms, America's go-to soap company, famous for natural ingredients, the skin-loving perks of tallow and goat milk, and a big heart for farm-to-family skincare. Whether you're looking for gentle skincare or thoughtful gifts, these products bring together expert care and good values to make your daily routine that much better. Do not miss this chance to enjoy premium products that support your health and ethical choices for your entire family. OFP Farms is the small family farm with big love. Use your code Sean, SHAWN, to get 15% off of your entire purchase, like the Outlaw Soap. We love the Outlaw Soap. You ready? No matter how many times I've taken a whiff of this soap, it still smells brand new. Mm-hmm. And you know what it smells like? It smells like felonious activity. It smells like...
Felonious.
Yes, it smells like felons created this soap. Now, They didn't. OFP farms are not felons. But this will leave you smelling like a felon. OFPfarms.com. Use the promo code Sean, SHAWN, to get yourself some of that felonious soap. OFPfarms.com. OFP, Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com. OFPfarms.com. Use the promo code Sean, SHAWN.
You know what else OFP stands for?
Old Fashioned Poly.
Only fantastic products.
Nice job. I like that one. OFP. OnlyFantasticProductsFarms.com. OFPFarms.com. Only Fantastic Products. I like that. OFPFarms.com. Promo code Sean for 15% off. It's SHAWN. OFPFarms.com. Promo code SHAWN. I don't have anything against felons, by the way.
I'm a thug, so.
Brennan's a thug. No. Trump's a felon, technically.
Yeah.
You know,
he's done felonious activities.
He's a felon with an asterisk because that trial was bullcrap, but, you know. No. All right. Let's move into the Jay Jones story because so yesterday a lot of people hadn't seen the Jay Jones texts from over the weekend, which is fine. You know, it's been a wild weekend. There's been a lot going on. Portland has been in the news. Obviously, we just got done with, the Charlie Kirk assassination, which has almost been a month ago. Which is hard to believe already. I know there's been a lot of fatigue. The news and politics is tough to follow, especially after a wild news cycle like Charlie Kirk, and then it kind of goes into a bit of a lull. There's still plenty of news, by the way, and the Jay Jones story, to me, should be the biggest story in the country, and that's why we're doing it 2 days in a row, all right? And Virginia is a very important race. And remember what I said regarding Winsome Sears. Look, you may not love some of the things she said about Donald Trump, but do you want people like Abigail Spanberger and Jay Jones, folks who either A, endorse Jay Jones, who is somebody who wants his political opponents to die, or somebody, Jay Jones himself, who wants his political opponents to die? You cannot allow them. How could you feel safe in Virginia if you're a Republican or even a moderate Democrat and those people are in power? How could you feel safe? The answer is you can't. The answer is you can't, okay? So, how many of you saw the new Jay Jones comments about police? Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat see the new the new Jay Jones comments? Just reply that either you did or you didn't. Now, they're not new as in he made them yesterday. They're new as in they came out yesterday. They're from 2020. All right? They're from 2020. But you know what? The left loves to play this game. Oh, you wore blackface at a fraternity party in college? You're obviously disqualified for office. Okay, AV did not see it. Redneck did not see it. Fonda did not see it. Gary did see it. Adna, I don't know how to read that name. Someone did, so it's a mix. It's a mix. All right, we are going to look at that. So we are going to go into those texts right now. Willie Rumble says Jay Jones should get a timeout. No, timeout's only for Hamas, guys. They're in the timeout corner for 15 minutes, and then we're going to negotiate with terrorists again. Is there anybody? Look, before we do Jones, because this really pisses me off, the Hamas thing. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody who's that mad? I'm that mad about it. Is it infuriating to you like it is to me that we continue to say we have a deal with people you can't trust? Or am I the only person who's this upset about it? I mean, it enrages me. Mm-hmm. Then we continue to act like we can trust these people. Like, we're not. What are you, stupid? Well, this is not.
I think maybe the conditioning has worked on me because, I'm not surprised.
No.
It's just I'm used to it now.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised with Hamas's behavior.
I'm not saying you're surprised. I'm just it's just I'm used to it. That's been going on for years. So, I'm numb to it.
I'm not surprised with how Hamas is behaving. I'm shocked, though, that our government is treating this, and even Israel is they're acting as if you can negotiate with these people. All right, here we go. Let's get to Jay Jones, because before we have to put the seatbelts on, it's too early for seatbelts right now. All right, Jay Jones. Some of you saw the text. Some of you did not see the text. Virginia, and the new comments. Virginia Democrat AG, Attorney General candidate Jay Jones, said in 2020 that if a few officers died, police would stop killing people. This guy is obsessed with death. That much is obvious. Obsessed with death. This is even worse because you are now running to be the top law enforcement official in the state of Virginia. And there are comments out there who are saying maybe if a few cops died, they would stop killing people. First of all, cops aren't killing people. Cops aren't killing people. This is the ACAB. All cops are bastards. All cops are bad. Cops aren't killing people. And it's very much up for debate that Derek Chauvin didn't even kill George Floyd. And I say up for debate because there's no conclusive answer one way or the other. However, lethal levels of fentanyl in his system. And by the way, I'm just going to say it. George Floyd had COVID. And he's the only person who died with the virus who wasn't listed as dying of the virus, right?
It didn't fit the narrative.
Didn't fit the narrative. You know, the guy who was eaten by an alligator in Florida who had COVID was like, man eaten by alligator dies of coronavirus. Like, no, he was eaten by an alligator. George Floyd dies, and they're like, oh, no, the cops killed him. Had to have killed him. They were like, should we list this one as no, do not list that as a COVID death. Don't do it. All right. Jay Jones comments here. I'm teasing these for like the last 20 minutes. Jay Jones, a Democrat candidate for Virginia Attorney General who has come under fire for resurfaced text messages in which he joked, I don't think he was joking, in text messages about murdering former VA House Speaker Todd Gilbert and hoped that his children died, has been revealed to have said in 2020 that if a few police officers died, then they would stop killing people. That's nice. Speaking with the Virginia Scope, GOP House Delegate Carrie Coyner recounted the text messages she received in 2022 from Jones. In the chain, Jones texted Coyner that at one point, yes, I've told you this before, only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. So this was the woman who got the text, Carrie Coyner. Coyner was asked about the message and what Jones was referring to when he said, I've told you this before. Coyner said that it went back to a phone call the two of them had in 2020 about removing qualified immunity protections for law enforcement. She told the outlet, we had a pretty heated conversation about public policy and pain involving qualified immunity. I served on the courts committee for a short period of time. A bill to remove qualified immunity for police officers, which protects police officers from personal liability in their line of duty and their line of work. And he believed that they should not have qualified immunity. And he was trying to convince me to agree with that. I said, no, police officers have to make a split-second decision about whether or not to shoot a gun to protect themselves or protect others. And if they're having to think about, will this strip my whole family of everything, are they going to be able to make that split-second decision? And I said, I believe that people will get killed. Police officers will get killed. Now, Carrie Coyner is 100% right about that. That is why qualified immunity is very important. Jones said, quote, well, maybe if a few of them died, that they would move on. Not shooting people, not killing people. Coyner replied to that and said, that's insane. So the guy who wants to be the top law enforcement official in the state of Virginia would be perfectly fine with cops getting killed because then it would make them change the way they enforce the law.
They do get killed every day.
They get killed every day.
Cops were under attack. And
more cops would get killed if you removed qualified immunity. This guy, Jay Jones, is a psychopath. Okay? This man talks about people dying, his political opponents. See, I just opened the show talking about how I want Hamas to die, and I do. Because they're terrorists. They want me to die, so might as well, on both fronts. Now, many members of the left want me to die too. I don't necessarily want them killed. Hamas, though, I would like to see killed. They are an organized terrorist organization that killed 1,500 people in one day and slaughtered innocent, concert goers at a music festival. Jay Jones has now said it on a number of occasions that he would be fine with people he does not like dying. How this person, first of all, how this is not the biggest story in the country, I don't understand. Other than, I do understand it. I'm saying kind of rhetorically, I don't get it, right? It's kind of like one of those, that's a rhetorical question. How come this Jay Jones story should be the biggest story in the country? The left went nuts when Donald Trump said there would be a bloodbath in the auto industry if he lost the 2024 election. Donald Trump is calling for blood in the streets. They screamed, right? That's what they said. The left went crazy when Donald Trump said, we're going to fight like hell. He's inciting violence. They said that the words peacefully and patriotically was a call to violence on January 6th. They said when he told the Proud Boys in the debate, stand back and stand by, that this was some sort of dog whistle to violence, right? You have a guy, Jay Jones, who has said in text messages and stood by his remarks that the Speaker of the House, or the House Majority Leader in Virginia, Todd Gilbert, should be shot and killed, and that his kids should die so that they move on policy. He has also said back in 2020 that police officers should die. This guy wants anybody he doesn't like to die. How on earth this is not the biggest story in the country is beyond me. The left spent more time last year on Donald Trump questioning whether Kamala Harris was actually black than they are spending on the fact that their nominee for Attorney General in the state of Virginia is wishing death upon cops and his political opponents. The left spent more time on Tony Hinchcliffe's joke about Puerto Rico than they did about Jay Jones wishing death on police officers and his political opponents. How on earth can anybody vote Democrat? But here's the problem. The Democrat Party is an actual cult that is obsessed with death. That is why Islam has very successfully infiltrated and found a cozy home in the Democrat Party, because radical Islam is also a death cult, right? It's also a death cult. What is it? They believe that if they die in the name of Allah or Islam or any of the jihad, that they get like virgins when they go into the...
How exciting.
Wonderful.
What a weird thing.
Yeah.
To think
Why don't you go, why don't you go explore another goat, if you know what I'm talking about.
Tell me you're a pervert without telling me you're a pervert.
This Jay Jones story should be the biggest story in the entire country. And the fact that it isn't is really, really bothering me. Now, on the conservative side, people like us, we're seeing it, we're talking about it. But you've got maybe one little instance of it over on mainstream cable news on the left. And I'm shocked to say that it was Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, who called this out. Watch this.
Coming up, an attorney general candidate in Virginia is apologizing for his texts about a state lawmaker. We'll go through what the messages said.
He should probably be forced to withdraw from the race, and probably is doing a lot there.
All right, Morning Joe will be right back.
Even Joe Scarborough said that Jay Jones should be forced to withdraw from the race. But who's going to force him, Joe? Who's going to force him? You're not going to force him out of the race. Nobody watches you. The Democrats in Virginia have already circled the wagons around this guy. When will people admit that the current leadership of the Democrat Party, where even if they do something wrong, they can do no wrong, this is a cult obsessed with death? The people who were responsible for the rhetoric that got Charlie Kirk killed, leftists. The people who were responsible for the Annunciation Catholic School shooting in Minneapolis, leftists. The people who were responsible for the rhetoric that led to somebody to take a shot at ICE agents in Dallas, Texas, leftists. Just like Jay Jones, who referred to his political opponents' children as little fascists. That said, if there were two bullets and three people, Todd Gilbert, Adolf Hitler, and Pol Pot, he would put two right between the eyes of Todd Gilbert. Then he doubled down on those comments saying, think of the three worst people who you know, including Gilbert. Gilbert gets both bullets every time. He wants anybody he doesn't like dead. He doesn't support the actions of law enforcement. They might as well die. Maybe if they start dying, they'll act differently, even though cops are being killed and attacked every single day. This guy is not even close to being fit to serve in any role. He can't even serve as the PTA president or an HOA president, let alone the Attorney General of the state of Virginia. If you live in Virginia, and I know several people in this audience live in Virginia, this has got to be the final motivating factor that over the course of the next few weeks, the next 3.5 weeks before this election, this has got to be the final motivating factor to say, okay, you know what? I'm bringing everybody I know out to the polls. We're going to embrace early voting. We're going to embrace any form of voting that we can. And we're going to make sure that this guy does not become the top law enforcement official in the state of Virginia. We're going to make sure that the people who endorsed him, like Abigail Spanberger, despite however you may feel about Winsome Sears, you cannot allow Abigail Spanberger to be the governor of Virginia. She endorsed him. Even after those comments, she said, I stand with Jay Jones. Good to know. Thank you. If you're a moderate, he hates you. And if he hates you, he wants you dead. Do your job, Virginia. Do not let those psychopaths win. All right. All right. Let's see. Where do we want to go? Let's go to a word from our friends over at Silent. It's slnt.com. slnt.com/Sean. Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November. Silent. Take back your privacy with Silent today. slnt.com. You know your phone is a tracking device, right? Everybody knows that. Your phone's a tracking device. It tracks you everywhere you go. Between government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, they're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint, and they're not asking. They're just going right on and taking it. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, and no breadcrumbs. It's the same technology that is trusted by special operations teams around the world, used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now it is available to you to protect your family, protect your freedom, and secure your digital footprint. Drop your phone in a silent Faraday sleeve and it is off the grid, completely silent and invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks to sleeves to crossbody, Silent's patented technology gives you control over your privacy. Just go to slnt.com/Sean to get 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. That is Silent, slnt.com/Sean. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. Go silent today and silence the chaos. slnt.com/Sean. Silent, slnt.com/SHAWN. Check it out today. Before we jump into a message from our friends at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, the Republican nominee for Attorney General in the state of Virginia, Jason Miyares, he released an ad essentially destroying Jay Jones over this text situation. I want to play this ad for you. It's a short ad, but I want to play this ad for you just so you understand. Maybe you can screenshot it, do what you got to do, post it everywhere, and tell your damn friends that they need to get out and defeat this guy. Not Miyares. We're voting for Miyares. You have to defeat Jay Jones. You have to defeat Abigail Spanberger. Watch this.
The Washington Post confirms Jay Jones sent texts that imagined shooting the Republican Speaker of the House. Jay Jones wished the Speaker's wife could watch her own child die in her arms. It's so disgusting. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Jay Jones confirmed that he hoped an opponent's children could die to advance his political agenda. Can you trust Jay Jones to protect your children?
I'm Jason Miyares, candidate for Attorney General. I sponsor this ad.
You cannot trust Jay Jones. You cannot trust Jay Jones. The man is an absolute lunatic. He's not well in the head. He's not well anywhere. He cannot be allowed to win. In any other world, in a sane world, we don't live in that type of place anymore, but in a sane world, that would have been disqualifying. The Democrats don't believe that they can be disqualified. You see, they're entitled to be violent. That's the type of people that we're dealing with here. All right. One more quick break. We'll get to a word from our friends at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Given to us by our good friend Jeremy Harrell. Take a look.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here. Look, I want to talk to you a little bit about gold and silver. When I was a kid, I always wondered what Fort Knox must look like. And when I was a kid, I always envisioned that when you would walk into Fort Knox, you would see just gold everywhere, literally raining gold, kind of like what you see behind me right now. Unfortunately, as a grown-up, I don't have that kind of imagination anymore, and I don't even have that much trust that Fort Knox has the 5,000 tons of gold that we're supposed to have there. Meaning that decades ago, we went off the gold standard in this country, which took the value of our dollar down to just mere pennies. And since our federal government doesn't want to go back to a gold standard currency, then it's time to us to take matters into our own hands. Have you ever thought about buying gold and silver? Have you ever thought about taking portions of your IRA or your 401k or your nest egg or your savings and putting it into gold and silver, either all or a portion of it? Have you ever wanted to purchase silver like this in bullion or premium? I know I do. And I know I wanted to take matters back into my own hands, which is why I have worked with Golden Crest Metals to do that. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA is going to be your go-to, absolutely transparent and trusted partner. Now, you can go to that website or you can call 888-308-4202. And what the good thing about this is they're going to guide you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to guide you. They're going to give you all the answers to your questions. And there's going to be no hidden fees. It's completely transparent. No hidden fees, no pressure, no surprise markups whatsoever. Clients get to see everything before they purchase. They've even agreed to lower the minimum investment to the LFA audience in order to make sure that everybody has access to this. Free IRA storage, free insured shipping, and a full range of precious metals from gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. And if it's easier for you to just maybe click a QR code, well, guess what? We've got that available for you too. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Click this QR code on your screen and it'll take you right there. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA. Again, GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA, or call 888-308-4202 today to reach these guys. They're going to be a great partner for you, just as they have been for me, and we absolutely recommend here at LFA TV, GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA.
That's GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Golden Crest Metals, for being a part of the show. I want to get to, where do we want to go here? Let's go to, let's do Jack Smith. Let's go to Jack Smith. But I really got to get to this illegal alien healthcare thing. So we'll touch on this story, because this is a big deal, too. 8 Republican senators apparently had their communications tracked by deranged Jack Smith. Remember, deranged Jack Smith was the one bringing the January 6th case and the classified documents case against Donald Trump. My eye is the most itchy thing in the world right now, and I don't have the ability to put drops in. FBI, Jack Smith and the Biden Department of Justice tracked phone calls of GOP senators and congressmen. So nearly 10 Republican senators and a representative had their private communications allegedly tracked by former special counsel Jack Smith under the Biden administration, according to Kash Patel. Files obtained by Fox News show that Smith, in his official capacity at the Department of Justice as he investigated Donald Trump and the events of January 6th, was allegedly tracking the phone calls of Republican Senators Lindsey Graham. Those must have been interesting phone calls. All the male prostitutes, I'm just kidding, that he was probably talking to. Just kidding. Marsha Blackburn, Ron Johnson, Josh Hawley, Cynthia Lummis, Bill Hagerty, so that's both Tennessee senators, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, and Republican Representative Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania. The alarming document revealed that Smith and his Arctic Frost team, which also went after conservative organizations like Turning Point USA, had subpoenaed telephone providers for the lawmakers' records in 2023. It was recently discovered by Kash Patel. Kash Patel confirmed the legitimacy of the findings in an ex-post, writing, quote, "We recently uncovered proof that phone records of U.S. lawmakers were seized for political purposes. The abuse of power ends now. Under my leadership, the FBI will deliver truth and accountability and never again be weaponized against the American people." An FBI official also told the outlet that Smith and his team, which was opened in the Bureau in 2022, were able to see which numbers and politicians contacted, the locations from where the calls originated, and the locations where they were received. Officials also explained that the records were investigated pursuant to an oversight request from Senator Chuck Grassley, which Patel and FBI Director Dan Bongino personally directed in response. A source added that the calls were, quote, likely in reference to the vote to certify the 2020 election. Bongino briefed the impacted lawmakers on Monday afternoon and told the publication it is a disgrace that he had to reveal those findings. Quote, it is a disgrace that I have to stand on Capitol Hill and reveal this, that the FBI was once weaponized to track the private communications of U.S. lawmakers for political purposes. Bongino said that era is over. My only question, and this really has nothing to do with Dan and Cash, they are the ones who revealed this information, is what is going to be done about it. Because I like the transparency. I love the transparency. I think the transparency is essential here. It's very welcome by all means. But what is going to be done about it? Remember, Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, they can't indict people, right? They can investigate, they can suggest, they can refer people for indictment. But we need the Department of Justice. We need the Department of Justice to act on this stuff. Now, I get it. It has been only 9 months, and the first indictments, from the Biden administration, other than January 6th, protesters, but the first high-profile political indictments of political figures didn't come until, early 2023, when Donald Trump was indicted in New York and then indicted in Florida and then indicted in, D.C. and then indicted in Georgia. I get it. I get all of that. But what is going to be done about these abuses of power? Because releasing the information is great. It is. I'm not saying that it isn't. But there need to be consequences for these actions. There need to be consequences for these actions. What is going to be done about it? And unfortunately, the person with the most amount of say is Pam Bondi. And I have absolutely no confidence in her. And you're really not going to change my mind until we start to see results. I have no confidence in our Attorney General. The head of the Department of Justice, to deliver any sort of justice. No confidence. I hope I'm wrong about her. So far, we've been right about her. I hope we're wrong about her. Okay. Let's get to, I want to go to Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller talking about, he was on CNN yesterday destroying the narrative surrounding the Portland ICE riots. It's always fun to watch Stephen Miller dismantle CNN hosts. So here's a little bit of Stephen Miller this morning. This is not from this morning. Sorry. I'm playing it this morning. This is from yesterday, just to be clear.
You make the case that these are terrorists, but in what we've seen thus far, the actual incidents of people inciting violence and not responding to law enforcement attempting to disperse them are not an open rebellion. I mean, again, you make this characterization as though they're terrorists, and I do wonder if it is potentially a problem in the future for Republicans. If a Democratic president someday calls the National Guard to a red state over what they see as open rebellion, but is what amounts to a demonstration that gets rowdy. I mean, is that not a fear?
They're posting pictures of their kids because it's a demonstration, and they have a sniper on top of a building firing a high-caliber rifle at a nice facility because it's a demonstration, and they are engaged in vehicle ramming attacks.
But the National Guard isn't being sent to Texas. The National Guard isn't being sent to Dallas, where that sniper was.
Because the Dallas Police Department and the governor of Texas, well, you walked right into that one, have responded to every call for assistance and help. They gave a stand-down order in Chicago, and they gave a stand-down order in Portland. Do you realize that there's 11,000 federal law enforcement officers in Oregon? That's larger than the size of the FBI. Local and state police are resourced to deal with this kind of riotous assembly, but they have refused. They've been given a stand-down order. So
they've
we
arrested
need
some
to use
70
National
people
Guard and
since
federal
June.
troops
They've been
to
arresting
fill in
folks
that
on the
breach.
ground. They've been arresting folks on the ground. They refute what you're saying outright.
We literally have the 911 audio of the stand-down order in Chicago, and we have documented inside of DHS every single unresponded to 911 call over the recent weeks and months.
This is the problem with the left. Well, they've arrested people. Oh, well, they've arrested people. Oh, okay, cool. So that means that they're keeping the community safe. Oregon's trying to sue Trump over the National Guard deployment to Portland. They're going to lose. The president, we have done this. We have done this. We were ahead of this. Boy, were we ahead of this in June. Title 10. Go back to when the Los Angeles riots are out there. The Title 10 conversation and posse comitatus and all that, right? The president of the United States is authorized under Title 10, whenever he deems necessary, to federalize the National Guard and protect federal property and federal assets when those assets are not being protected by the local authorities. He's authorized to do that. Now, what he is not authorized to do, unless he invokes the Insurrection Act, is have those National Guard troops performing law enforcement activity in the streets. But they are allowed to protect federal assets and federal property. In other words, a post office is federal property. A Social Security building is federal property. A courthouse is federal property. And any employees going in and out of those buildings are considered federal assets. They are allowed. It could be argued that the president is obligated to protect those assets and those property, those properties. It is unbelievable that people can't seem to just look up Title 10 and understand the president's authorities. Oregon's going to lose in court. Brandon Johnson in Chicago. We're going to have ice-free zones.
Today, we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. The order establishes ice-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
Okay. That kind of sounds like, soft secession, but it's Brandon Johnson who says that it's the right that wants a civil war.
I said very candidly that the right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I want that to sit in right now, because the president of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
That's right.
He's more interested in giving billions of dollars to other nations, while farmers in urban cities around this country are literally being destabilized. And so whether it's the legal system, whether it's through executive order, or whether it's through the brave women and men who are serving as rapid responders. We literally have people who are volunteering in this city, on the southwest side, the northwest side, all over this city, to make sure that we're protecting children from being separated from their families. And we're talking about volunteers who are literally putting themselves at risk of being shot and killed by the federal government. And so whether it's the legal system, whether it's our continuous struggle for liberation through organizing, and whether it's through executive action, or whether it's through law, it would be nice if we actually had lawmakers in Washington that would actually hold this president accountable. And if they won't do it, then the city of Chicago will, using every single tool that's available to us.
People are not being shot and killed by the federal government. And you know a good way to not be shot and killed by the federal government? Don't shoot and ram vehicles into property that belongs to the federal government. How about that? I mean, how many times did we hear in the case of January say, oh my gosh, they beat up police officers. They should be in jail. Which, by the way, I said if you assaulted a cop, you should not have gotten a pardon. And again, the reason why I took that position, and so many people were like, no, we need pardons for everybody. Because this is an all or nothing internet culture world that we live in. Why did I take the position that if you assaulted a police officer, not in self-defense, you weren't provoked, you just, like Jake Lang, just started assaulting cops? Why did I say that those people shouldn't get pardons? Because I believe that assaulting officers is bad. And I had a feeling the left was going to start assaulting officers. But then there are those people who say, well, if the Trump supporters assaulted officers on January 6th, they can get a pardon. No. Nobody should be pardoned for assaulting cops. Nobody. Those protesters or rioters in Chicago, or people who got out of control on January 6th. You have to be accountable for your actions across the board, not just on one side of the aisle or the other side of the aisle. Now, I gotta get to this shutdown thing. This is important. We're not going to get to the singing today. Oh, no. I know a lot of people are upset about that. We'll do singing tomorrow. This is more important. We need to be informed here. There are 14 states that are giving illegal aliens health care. As per Newsweek, May 28th, 2025. Newsweek, are they a friend of the right? Is Newsweek a conservative outlet? No. The answer is no. This map shows 14 states offering health coverage to undocumented immigrants. All right, you ready? Part of Donald Trump's budget legislation, the Big Beautiful Bill, will seek to punish the 14 states that currently offer health coverage to people in the United States, regardless of immigration status, including undocumented immigrants. Now, I thought this wasn't happening. Oh, there's no federal funds going to undocumented. It's illegal for undocumented immigrants to get taxpayer-funded health care from the federal government. That's what they tell you, right? Except they tell on themselves in this article. The 14 states, most of which are Democratic-led, would see the federal Medicaid matching rate for the Affordable Care Act, ACA, expansion in their states cut from 90% to 80%, ramping up how much they would have to pay to run their service. Why it matters. Immigrants without legal status, that's funny, immigrants without legal status, illegal immigrants, typically do not qualify for federal benefits. However, more than a dozen states offer various forms of health coverage to undocumented migrants. Okay, state level. That's not the federal level, right? Well, there's more to the story. Again, Newsweek likes to tell on themselves. The left likes to tell on themselves. While advocates of such services argue these programs promote public health, reduce long-term costs, and align with moral obligations to care for vulnerable populations, critics contend that such efforts strain budgets and could incentivize illegal immigration. The 14 states that currently provide health coverage to undocumented migrants are California, New York, Illinois, Washington, New Jersey, Oregon, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Colorado, Connecticut, Utah, Rhode Island, Maine, and Vermont. Washington, D.C. does also, but they're not a state. Vermont. In Connecticut, coverage is available for children under 15, but a February proposal sought to expand coverage to undocumented migrants aged under 26 and above 65. In Utah, there is emergency care coverage available for undocumented migrants and some health care coverage available for children. Undocumented migrants that are pregnant or children in Rhode Island are also eligible for health coverage. Here they come. Here comes where they tell on themselves. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. The change to the federal match for the Affordable Care Act Medicaid population in these states would mean that each state has to cover the cost of Medicaid by a greater amount. In total, it would shift $92 billion in costs from the federal government to the states. Wait a second. So you're telling me that in an article that is telling you which states provide health care to illegal aliens from May of 2025 before the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill, they're saying that if the Big Beautiful Bill passes and those cuts were to take place, the same cuts that the Democrats are trying to put back into this continuing resolution to reopen the government, that $92 billion of cost would be shifted from the federal government to the states. In other words, the federal government was sending money to the states to reimburse them for giving health care to illegal aliens. And there you go. That's not me citing Breitbart News or Fox News or Newsmax. That is coming directly from Newsweek back in May of 2025. The left telling on themselves those exact cuts that the Democrats are against, that they are trying to put back into the continuing resolution that would open the government. They admit in that article, right there, I read it to you, that those funds were being used to reimburse states that were giving health care, taxpayer-funded health care, to illegal aliens. It's over. It's over. That is a people's elbow from the top of the steel cage. 1, 2, 3, ring the bell. This match is over. The Democrats are keeping the government shut down over funding for health care for illegal aliens, and they admitted it before they knew they shouldn't be admitting it. All right. You know what? You want to do singing real quick in the last 2 minutes?
Yes.
We'll end on a fun note. There's a woo-ya.
Everybody, woo-ya.
That's enough. All right. Remember this one?
Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. No!
Yeah, he's going to Uganda. Remember this one?
Took back what he stole from us. Took it back. Took it back.
Back our humanity.
Well, we
went down to the rich man's house and we took back what.
All right. Those are some old ones. Here's some Democrats in Portland yesterday singing, what is it? This Land Is My Land? He's coughing. Okay. You know, I like my version better. This land is my land. It is not your land. I got a shotgun and you don't got one. See? Get off. These people, the singing. We're going to have an award show at the end of the year. We'll do the Ungoverned Grammys. And we will award one group of Democrats the Grammy. Right now, obviously, the front runner is Awoo-ya. This is the front runner.
Everybody, awoo-ya.
Especially because she's wearing a sombrero. So, you know, there it is. All right.
I like the pink vest.
The pink vest, too. Yeah, what was the pink vest from Kilmar is our... You can't have him. All right. Jeremy Harrell is up next right here on LFA TV, wherever you're watching. If you're on X, if you're on YouTube, if you're anywhere, go to rumble.com/LFA TV, Lima Foxtrot Alpha Tango Victor, to catch Live from America with Jeremy Harrell for the next 3 hours. Until then, as President Trump says, we will never give up, we will never give in, and we will never, ever surrender. Have a great rest of your day. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jeremy Harrell up next. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place, rumble.com/LFA TV. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you for your attention to this matter.